met her. Um, briefly, to give you a background, Balki had met Boni for some other film conversation or something, and Shri happened to be there. And Balki said, I'm not doing a film right now, it's my wife who's doing a film. And Shri just was intrigued and asked him, can you tell me what this is about? And Balki gave her a one-liner of English, and she was very intrigued. She wanted to know more, and she said, "Can I hear the story?" And next thing, of course, I've put on my clothes and I'm in her house and with my script. And she was there, so lovely, simple, and she sat there. I loved her energy instantly, and I narrated the script to her. As soon as I finished narrating, she looked at me and said, "Gauri, I don't know about you, I would like to do this." And I was like, I mean, of course, whatever. And I think, which is why I say I call it a date, because I fell in love with her, and I think both of us kind of fell in love with each other. At that point, there was an instant connection beyond, and it has been like that, beyond actor director. And I think that's what also sort of comes out in the film, because that bond, the connection, understanding of the scene, performances, the nuances, all was just because we were so in sync. And so was the whole team. It started with the two of us, and yeah, that was first love.
Relate to that because I feel so privileged that I was given this opportunity to just be around her and then be part of this film, which is so special. And now 10 years later, I'm here. So, I mean, this too is an honor to be able to do this. I relate to what you're saying because when Gauri called me and she said, would you be interested in kind of this sort of, job profile, supervising, being sort of the dialogue coach for Sri Devi. So I was like, for who? What? So she said, let's go and meet her and we'll go over to her house. And we went to her house and that's how I felt, because I was that kid who watched Lamhe 13 times in Bandra talkies, just to kind of see how she jumps on those grapes, which are, So for me, it was like when I was there and I was rather quiet and in the background. And finally, my first question to her was, what should I call you? So she said, call me Shri. So I said, how can I call you Shri? She said, because it's my name. So please call me that. Moving from there, the whole, she was the leader of the pack in that sense with the cast. But the whole ensemble, tell us something about getting this madcap but brilliant group together.
I was really lucky that this doesn't usually happen, where every peg gets so correctly cast, and the energy of the entire team, every person from the crew to the cast, it was like, so much in sync. And I think, I don't know what it was, that it just happened, starting with Shri, and then everything and everyone falling in place. So yeah, the first person, Lakshman, of course, because you need your partner. It's like a marriage, literally, on film, where if we both are not in sync, nothing can. We didn't fight also, no? No, never. So
I used to be quiet.
okay, so it was one way, clearly. So so I've worked with Lakshman in ad films before, and we really got along. Again, it's like that, I work with people I have a good energy with, and I've always liked his energy, and we've got along really well, and liked his work, of course. So he was very enthusiastic as soon as I said I have this film. He said, yeah, I want to work. Well, first, no feature, no. Okay, forget. We'll call it for anyway. So he was very excited, and that's how he came on board. And okay, so I'll quickly just say how the rest of them. So Anand had worked with Balki on Pa, and I just stole him from there. And Amit Trivedi, again, I was dying to work with, and that's how Amit happened. Hemanti's work I had seen, and I really wanted to work with her, so that's why. And Rasool, we were lucky to have gotten him. This was my first film. He was an Oscar winner, and he just, again, Sri Devi ma'am's film, of course I'm doing this. So yeah, so we had an Oscar winner on board. And Mustafa is the art director. He was Also someone I worked with. We worked together in ad film, so that's how on my HODs I might be missing someone, but please forgive me. Who is putting up their hand? Rishi, you were not part of this film, is that you? Okay. Then my cast, which was amazing. Mehdi, Laurent, how I met him was in New York. I was there writing the script, and very randomly, I don't know how I landed up in this strange private club, and we were on this terrace. And Mehdi was there. He had just stepped out. He was there for a Ridley Scott screening where he had a role to play, and we got talking. And I said, I'm doing. I mean, I don't even think, but we exchanged numbers, and because he was an actor, and we all really got along. There was a group of people, but I never thought this is how we'll end up working together. And then I connected with him much later, and he was like, "Hey, Bollywood movie," and he was on. So didn't need much convincing. And yeah, the Rajiv was found in Bangalore somewhere. Self-tested like a million times, and I was like, yeah, we convinced with one test, but he kept sending auditions.
In case you changed your mind.
Okay. And these kids, like I told you, how I found them. So yeah, and Adil was a great find. So everything just fell in place. I don't want to take too long. And
Can I say something about the cast
to someone
perspective?
else, please talk.
Yeah, I mean, she dealt with all kinds of energies. Mehdi came from another planet as far as the rest of us were concerned. I mean, he would sit there, what to say, what to say. And he used to get really angry that Rajiv and Sri Ma'am had an off-camera friendship. Because
He was jealous.
he was jealous, and how?
That we all were.
That's one of the gifts I take away from this film. But amazing fights me and Mehdi would have. He would come up to him and say, you cannot talk to her. You cannot talk to her. I said, "No, not talk to who? You cannot talk to Simam." I said, "Why? She's a friend." No. She's it's disturbing my preparation. I said, "You go down the road. There's a park over there. Go and prepare as much as you want in that park." So both me and Mehdi had very interesting exchanges. But so he didn't understand what I was doing in the film. He didn't know why we need a joker like this guy in the classroom. I mean, he literally said these words, but he called. He called from the Morocco Film Festival. He called. It was 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. here. He called and said, "You fat fool! I finally understand what you did in the film." They were laughing. I said, "Yes, Mehdi, it's taken you all this time, but thank you very much." Yeah, I have to give Gauri credit for having some special superpowers to deal with the energies here, because there were actors from New York. There was Mehdi from Jupiter, I think. Adil is a powerhouse himself. But the truth is, and sorry, I'm coming back, Kosa, there was a glue. There was somebody on set there who never let the balance of the energy go off. There was someone who would come to the classroom scenes and make sure that everybody is feeling good, is feeling comfortable. She would make sure that everyone is seen on camera. She threw away so many jokes that were written for her. She gave them to my character Rama, which made Rama even more memorable. But a lot of those came from Shri Ma'am. So